Hi, I'm Sari Mustonen-Kirk, your coach in a box for the next couple of weeks as you undertake the group worldwide uROk 33-day challenge. And you've been joining me for some video coaching leading up from the introduction of the book through the, I guess, how it came to be and what it's all about and why it works. We talked about the creative process, we talked about the examine, imagine, reason approach that we're using and how the wheel came into being, the personal wheel, and that's the template that we use for our 33 days. We've gone through, we've dreamt our life, we've created some wheel ideals, and now we're up to the third part of EIR, being reason. And reason is the part where we give our plan some legs, so to speak. So in the examine section, we set the line in the sand, or we decided what is the current state of play today and where should we actually begin to make changes and what would we like to make changes on. Now remember, we got our Life Pulse score, and that was a totally subjective score, so it was our own index of how happy we are in each of our areas of our life. Then we went through and we created Imagine, our future, our vision of our very best ever life that hit not only our needs for motivation, remember those goodies that we like to have, but also hit those values that we articulated right in the beginning of the process. And the values were the things that once we achieve goals that are based on our values, that's when we really achieve some fulfillment and satisfaction. So we've got this over here, our examine process, or a line in the sand, and over here we've got Imagine, and that's pulling us forward. So what do we need in between? We need a bridge, and that bridge is the reason process. So reason is where we wrap some goals, some plans and some actions around our idea of how we can move from current state of play and be pulled forward into that ideal future. We talked about things like letting go of our past and seeing any mistakes that we'd made or any of those things that we weren't so happy with in our past as valuable lessons. So always look for the lesson in anything that seems to have gone wrong, because sometimes the things that go wrong, bad word but the best word we've got, go wrong in our lives are actually the things that in the end were the very catalyst that we needed to have everything go more right. So we've looked at all those things, we've created our vision, we've got our wheel ideals, now we go in to actually create some statements. So we'll be talking about how to create some powerful statements, and I'll be resting back on that I am, I now, I feel model that we used in creating the wheel ideals. Then we'll talk about integrated goals, and all of this is of course in your workbook, so feel free to have a read of it, and I would encourage you to read the whole thing even though you're tuning into the video coaching. So what is a powerful goal? A powerful goal answers those questions. I am, I now, and I feel. We don't set dry goal statements like, I'd like a new car by December. We build a vista around those goals. We connect it to our values. We think about how will that thing that we can see or touch make us feel, and we concentrate mainly on the feelings, because sometimes the very things that we chase, we might not actually achieve that goal that we thought we were chasing, but if we achieve that feeling that that goal was meant to give us, then who knows, you might be more successful than the actual thing that you were after. So when we talk about integrated goals, what we're looking at here is making our goals hang together, because ultimately, if all of the goals in all of these segments support each other, you've got a much higher chance of actually achieving them. And in the book I give you some examples of how to integrate your goals, but I'll give you a quick one now. In purpose, part of my personal purpose is that I raise my children. I've got an 18-month-old and soon to be 4-year-old, and it's my purpose now at this point in my life to spend as much time as I can with them, to really be an influence to them at those crucial years, 1 to 7, when they're still in that alpha brainwave state and really absorbing everything that's going on in their world. So for me to set goals in that segment of being an international speaker purely on a live circuit really doesn't suit my values in terms of what I want to achieve with my children. Hence, I can do something like this video coaching, which means I still get to reach you, my beautiful audience. However, I don't have to spend my time in hotels, on aeroplanes, doing all that sort of thing, and potentially being away from my kids for large chunks of time. So there's many ways to achieve your ultimate goal without necessarily doing things in the way that would seem obvious. So remembering that we want to connect all of the statements that we make in this reason process to our values, to our ultimate vision, and ideally, if we've identified a purpose, to make sure that each of the goals in each of those segments supports that primary purpose. So the more your goals can hang together and support each other in each of the different segments, the more effective your overall life plan will be. And as I said, in the book I give you a couple of examples. But we're going to whip straight on to the example wheels, because in creating our day one blueprint, we really want to have a look at what types of things we're going to write in those wheels. So from 66 to 68, I give you some examples, one for kids, one to achieve more, and one to be positive. Now, they are all a synthesis of example wheels, or real wheels, I should say. The last part of the puzzle and the last part of reason is gratitude and celebration. You need to feel grateful. You need to celebrate. That's what life is about. Once you have achieved your goals, no matter how small they are, and goals don't have to be tangible things either, you can have succeeded in a goal if one of your values was love, for instance, and you acted in a loving way towards someone that you normally might not have. That is a huge achievement because you're honouring some of your values. So don't just look at the tangible things or tick your goals lists off only when you can feel or see the stuff. If you can feel it inside and it makes you feel like a better person, closer to that ideal you, then I can guarantee you've achieved a much greater goal than something that you can see now you might get bored with pretty soon. That's it from me for the reason process, and I'll be back to talk to you for our day one blueprint.